Okay, so we're going to talk about Lock, Stock, Two Smoking Barrels. This is a movie recommendation. The first movie recommendation I'm doing on my channel. Let's talk about it. Hey, my name's Aaron, and I'd love to talk about movies. And if that's something you like to do, consider hitting subscribe, ringing the notification bell, and stay up to date with all of the content I post here. Now, you can recommend me a movie. Just go down to the comments, drop what movie you think I should watch and why. I will add it to the watch list. This movie was recommended to me, Lock, Stock, Two Smoking Barrels, released in 1998. It's a crime comedy. Written and directed by Guy Ritchie. He did Snatch, Revolver, Rock and Roller, and one that I saw in the cinema in 2019 was The Gentleman. He also did Aladdin. I saw that in the cinema the same year. The film stars Jason Fleming, Dexter Fletcher, Nick Moran, Jason Statham in his debut, Stephen McIntosh, Vinnie Jones, and Sting from The Police, weirdly enough. It follows a heist involving a confident young card sharp who loses £500,000 to a powerful crime lord in a rigged game of three-card brag, prompting him to pay off his debts by enlisting his friends to help him rob a small-time gang operating out the apartment next door. So this was a very successful movie, and I've always heard of this movie, I've just never watched it. I've never been a fan of Vinnie Jones and those kind of movies, you know, like the Football Factories and like very British gritty movies I've never been a massive fan of. There are some exceptions. I really liked Harry Brown starring Michael Caine. Thought that was a great British movie. And great, you know, British horror has really been something I've been more drawn to. And really I've just kind of, not that I've tried to avoid the film, but just never really piqued enough interest for me to sit down and watch it. And I partly enjoyed The Gentleman in the cinema. It's a fairly good film, but everyone that I work with has been going on about I should watch this movie, and so I did. And what did I think of it? It was fine to average. Now, it's a very low budget movie, made a lot of money, and what Guy Ritchie does with his budget is actually pretty damn incredible. Um, Obviously very British. I enjoyed the soundtrack. There's a lot of great music in it, but it feels very amateur, but not in a bad way. Like the color palette is unique. Definitely a very grainy movie. Even if you bought this on 4K, I could imagine it being very grainy, and so it should be. Typically, you have a kind of narrator in the film, very similar to other Guy Ritchie movies. Sting is in this movie, and that's kind of random, but he does a good job. And I can't knock the performances in general. There was some funny scenes of a guy getting beaten with a dildo, and this little kid turning around and saying, "Piss off, you nonce." But this film's just not really for me. Like, it's fun for a one-time watch, but I'm not massive on these overly British movies. I don't know if this has more appeal to other people across the pond watching a British movie because it's kind of that stereotypical British accent. But for me, it just plays to all the kind of cliche British stuff. Obviously set in London, but it's just I find it kind of corny, and I don't know if it's because I struggle to embrace British culture, right? I am not into football. I'm not into going out and getting drunk every night. I'm not like I'm very the opposite of your traditional British male, I guess, if you were to stereotype, because this film does feel like a stereotype. I'm not like laddish, right? I'm not a laddish person. I like to sit in the dark, watch films, play video games, and build Lego. So, you know, this movie really isn't for me. But if you're like a Larry British type, I guess, like again, talk about stereotypes, but if you're that type of person, this is what this movie appeals to. And I know that it appeals to a lot of people, sort of like around my age group and older. Rory Breaker is played by Vaz Blackwood, who played Lennox in Only Fools and Horses.
Look, I haven't had a job right in 6 years.
Well, nor has Rodney.
I've got no future.
Nor has Rodney.
Had to notice that. It just goes to show how much I've watched Only Fools and Horses. That's another thing. I love British comedy. And I love British horror. But these kind of films just don't appeal to me. Because it's that lad culture. that you get here. There's some funny lines though, like "Can everyone stop getting shot?" was that did get me, and it's a very quotable film. Lots of recognizable young faces. There's a traffic warden in this that is kind of an extra in a way, very small role, but it's Rob Brydon from Gavin and Stacey, and Rob Brydon the comedian. But everyone that you come across in this movie, you pretty much recognize from other films or other things in the UK, like very famous UK faces. But also, these movies have very. This movie has very cliche ways of naming people. Like you have someone called Soap, Bacon, Winston, Big Chris, Little Chris, the Baptist, Hatchet, Dog, Nick the Greek. Like it's just very cliche British, very kind of typical British music in there from like Robbie Williams. But for me, like the characters are developed at an arm's length, and there's just not enough meat on the bone there for me. Just a lot of tough guy dialogue that I don't find that convincing. I think the color palette of the movie is like it's got this ugly, gritty sepia tone to it that is a distraction throughout the entire film. Now, I'm very aware that I am completely not. I'm completely going against the grain for like all the reviews you can find on this movie. You will struggle to find a mediocre review. And I'm not saying I hate this movie, it's just not my thing. So for me, I'm going to say it's a one-time watch. Guys, do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Let me know down in the comment section below your thoughts on Lock, Stock, Two Smoking Barrels. And yeah, it was okay. If you want to recommend me a movie, drop a movie title down below and why I should check it out. Very much would be up for doing that. And I'll see you real soon in the next one, guys. Take care of yourselves.